nothing too special outside of the box anyways. Has some information on the back. It has a 1 millisecond response time, wired or wireless. It is 107 grams in weight. That is with the battery inside already built in. So it's pretty lightweight. Has some information on the sensor. It does last for 32 hours wireless if you do turn off the lighting. If you don't, it's going to be less than that. It is an ambidextrous design, so you can use it as a left-hander or a right-hander. So let's go ahead and take a look what's inside the box. Alright. So as you can see, the mouse is front and center because it's not a cheap one. So let's take a look at the mouse. Pretty cool. You have the DPI settings right here. This is the mouse wheel lock. So if you press it, you can actually just spin it. If you lock it, it's a regular mouse wheel. You have the left hand side buttons right here. These are removable. They are held by magnets, which is pretty cool. There is a blanking plate included inside as an accessory. If you wanted to switch it over to the right hand side, you would put the blanking plate over here so you don't have any exposed connections. So let's put this down and let's see what's inside. So we'll remove this. This is an instruction manual. Just has a couple of different ways you can hook up the mouse. If you do connect it to the computer with the wired connection, it will no longer use the wireless. So if you wanted to have this mouse just as a wired or wireless setup, you can do that. It does offer that flexibility compared to other mice which are just wired or wireless. So let's go ahead and put that over there. We have the braided USB cable, pretty long, really nice quality. I had the G9X before. They're pretty awesome braided cables that they use, so this should last a while. This is going to be the accessory box. There is no weights for this mouse, so it will just be 107 grams, so you cannot adjust the weight. There's no weights in here. It's just going to be the buttons if you wanted to switch it over to a left-handed use, the blanking plate, and then obviously the wireless dongle. It's already in here. This is going to be the wireless dongle that you're going to use, and then this is a USB extender, which you will plug in to this. If you wanted to extend the range, you would do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the software and what it has to offer for the mouse.
Alright, so let's take a look at the software for the mouse. This is the home screen. If you click on this tab, you can modify all the clicks on the mouse to do specific functions, and you can also set up profiles and DPI settings down here on the bottom. Mine is set to 2000, and you can switch between them with the DPI up and down button on the mouse. And then you have obviously the lighting features, the lighting wheel right here. It's a RGB setup, so you can do pretty much any color you want, and it has different effects on here such as color cycle and breathing. Off doesn't mean the lighting is off. You have to click on this right here and it'll turn it off on the mouse. So if we go right here, you can see the battery of the mouse right now. It's at 79%, so it's charging, and it tells you the power consumption on the right. This is an estimate of the max charge life, which is 32 hours. Once you switch to lighting, it's going to go down. So it's 25 hours once you're using the lighting. Myself, I don't use the lighting since I need the maximum battery life. But if you use the lighting, that's something to take note of. This is going to be where you set up your mouse to work with your mouse surface. I tuned it, but quite frankly, I didn't notice any difference between the standard factory and the one that I made for the Corsair mouse pad I'm using. So it's up to you if you want to do it. I didn't really see any difference. It might be a gimmick in the end. And then right here you have a input analysis that you can run while you're playing a game, and it will pretty much record hotspots of things you press a lot. So your left click, you might press a lot more than your right click, and you'll be able to see hotspots on the screen.
Alright, so as I mentioned, I had the G9X before, so I just kind of want to outline some of the features that I gained and some of the features that I lost. Obviously, what I gained is having the ability to use wireless or wired with the new G900. The G9X did have the removable grip, which allowed you to use one out of two that came in the box. There's another grip that's a little bit more narrow. I don't have it anymore, but I never used that one too much. I use this wide grip for a claw grip setup. Let me go ahead and put this on the side. And also another big feature that I lost was the weights. You could adjust how heavy or light the mouse would be, which was super nice. You could just get it perfect how you wanted. But I already got used to this one, so it's not a huge loss, but it's something nice to have. So let me put this back in here. It does tend to not slide as well as the new one, which I have noticed. Even when this one was new, just the way they have the feet set up on the bottom, it just never glided as well as the new mouse does. So that's something to note that I gained with the new mouse. These buttons were kind of wearing out really quickly compared to the rest. And on the back here, you can see the same micro gear switch that the new mouse has. It's on the back instead of on the front up here. But aside from that, I didn't really lose too much. Just the old feel, you can't really replicate it anymore. Obviously, they don't sell the G9X, and the ones that are available online, they're just super expensive that they're not even worth buying, because you can get a great mouse for less money than an old G9X, and you have wireless and wired functions.
So in closing, this mouse gets my approval. If you're left-handed or right-handed, it's great. It glides over any surface I've used it on. It's fantastic. Also, the sensor on this mouse is outstanding. Even if you use wireless or wired, you cannot tell the difference. That's how good the sensor is. The battery life is pretty low, so that's something to take note. You can alleviate that by taking off all the lighting functionality. That does help a lot, actually. I think you can get almost 10 extra hours out of it. And also, another thing that's a downside is obviously not having the adjustable weights. But aside from that, if you can get past the steep cost of this mouse, it's definitely something to purchase.